I think it would be good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Tiffany. Yeah, you're living across the border. I didn't know that. It's actually Bellingham.
No, I'm not Bellingham. I'm Bellevue.
Bellevue. What is?
So that's a little further south, but we still are quite north. Actually, I live in Bothell, which is about 90 minutes to where you're talking about Bellingham. We're about 90 miles from Bellingham.
New Westminster is only 1 hour from the border, 2 hours from the border, even less. We are kind of because New Westminster was the previous capital of British Columbia.
Okay.
Now it's the island, Victoria, or is the
oh right, right. Yeah, so I think that's probably about 3 hours for us.
Yeah, it's
about 3 hours. Yeah.
No, not much. Yeah,
we're really close to Seattle.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Many Canadians are going every weekend to Seattle.
Yes.
So yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So thank you for tuning in. I just wanted maybe in future to make the same interviews like the other people to position you as an expert, if you don't mind. But if you have questions about communities and your experience and my experience, we can handle that today, or if you have questions, no problem.
Right. Yeah, I think for me that's probably the conversation that I would like to have is connecting on both of us working with community and then perhaps from your experience of going through the mentorship with Joel, and as you've been progressing through that, if there's some things that come to mind that really helped you with where I'm at in my process.
Okay.
Because I feel like coming into this program, I've been working with what I'm doing for 18 years, and so what I'm faced with is how do I transform my community and get them up to speed with the changes that my husband and I are making. And also at the same time, with doing this work, I've really been able to hone in and focus on what my work is within our organization and how I can bring that out to more communities and work on that. But I feel like I want to do more specific work around the community that I have and implement. Yeah.
Excellent. So you mean creating more martial arts club? That's what you mean?
So for me, what I've realized through working through the different modules is that I am definitely a community creator. And so before martial arts, I was involved in helping create community in New York. And what I noticed in that, and I know that I did certain things, like we did a monthly, what we call the full moon meditation. And this was before Facebook, and it was before, any of the social media. But we were able to really bring together community monthly that ended up growing from, 20 people initially over the years to having 400 and 500 people coming, weekly or monthly, and then everything that develops out of that. Like it was, there's a lot of community that gets created out of the communities. And I've really focused on that, and I was really interested in that. And so from that, I started working I went and got training in something called permaculture. And permaculture it kind of marries the idea of how you can create a community and live together while also being off the grid, basically, is what it was. So it did everything from, I learned how to create solar power and wind power and all these things. But what really interested me was how they brought community together and so back then, the idea was, well, you have these intentional communities. So it was intentional communities.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, kind of the average, and I've lived in intentional communities, and people would come together and they would do really well for about 4 years. And then it would start to kind of unravel and there would be problems. And, and they do all this working about how they're going to govern each other and how it was going to work. How are the votes going to be? How is this going to work?
Mm-hmm.
So I took a lot of what I learned from that work with me as I came into the martial arts world. And when I started the business with my husband in 2000, I was coming into that wanting to create a healing arts center. And but what we had was we invested in a martial arts school that already had, was already in existence. Both of us were practitioners, and we have done a lot to transform the community to have the more, to be very sustaining in community, if that makes sense. So instead of the 4 years, we now have people that have been with us for the entirety of those 18 years. And quite a few of those people, about 25.
Mm-hmm.
But we're at a point now where people are starting to fragment. People are starting to kind of have their own ideas of different things they want to do, which is great. We want people to grow. We want people to, to flourish. And so, but what I want to bring into it is, again, kind of community, like how we can share as a community, come together.
Mm-hmm.
In a different way and transform how, because what's happened is people have formed a lot of their opinions about what it is and what everybody else should be doing and all of these things. And we've had it quite open, but now it's like for Sharif and I to move forward, we need to really present what it is that we're moving forward with, how to include them and do this transition. And I think I'm not truly going to be free to do more community building until I'm able to take my own community through that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get to, is that I need to take my community through this transition.
Excellent. Yeah, it's everything starts within. I read one sentence from Brendan Burchard. He says the hero starts within family. So in order you to project yourself as a leader or mentor or whatever, you should prove in yourself or a very small community. Well, what I mean community is actually very deep, and you can understand me. Thank God that you are so much kind of looking through the obvious, as some people say. So first of all, we always forget that we were born as a community. What I mean, first of all, we had a mother and father first, physically. But non-physically, emotions and mind, we cannot explain with physical realm. So we were born with several parts of ourselves. So we had it, but we deny it constantly, Tiffany. You know that, especially the martial arts, exactly on this point. Whether it's Aikido, Judo, Karate, whatever you name it, doesn't matter. It is the same principle. You have 3 parts and you have to work and feed them all. 3 parts. You don't need to actually you're self-sustained, but we are social animals. Let's put it that way. We need to communicate. Well, community is communication. It's but it's cooperation, but it's self-respect. So in order to progress, I had the feeling that we have to work on the smallest part of ourselves first, and then to attract such a people. And as I said to the radio show with Dr. Barbara Young, it's education. So if people don't come to us, or we're expecting to develop, it's something that we are doing wrong first. We have to research in ourselves, and then we have to answer what kind of people we want to meet with and to grow with. You're right, you don't need 5, 10, 20 communities, because after all, you don't have a life. You have to attend to these communities, and they will I like that sound. I like that sound. So that's very important. We cannot spread everywhere at the same time, but we can focus one by one. And these experiences, when you videotape it, what Joe is teaching, then
Mhm.
you put it in a package, or kind of online package, and then you sell it. Say, guys, I can help you. And that's what frustrates me, Tiffany, because I'm coming from different culture, coming with great expectations here,
Mhm.
country which I'm respect for, because I'm respecting the law and order. I'm respecting the mindset that you should stop at the red and move on the green, let's say.
Right.
But when I start to go in this council board members meetings here locally, and I look at these people and say, what's your problem, guys? People are dying every day for poverty and drug addiction. Even yesterday, I was watching a very nice movie called The Snitch, when a father has to go through hell to get out his son from the prison. Because in
Mhm.
the United States, I didn't know that they changed the law of drug addiction. Let's say if you are uh, transfer cocaine or some drugs, if they
Mhm.
caught you, you can have such a verdict which is bigger than a rapist and a killer. Well, that's for true events. This movie with The Rock, this guy.
Right. Right.
Yeah, he was playing very good role. I didn't expect such a serious movie, and it's based on a true event. So that's the community. He figured it out that he has to save his son, no matter what, and he was going literally dealing with people you don't want to deal with.
Right.
I mean, with mafia, with everything, in Mexico, with drug addiction, and he was under such big stress, but he made it. He
Mhm.
he sacrificed himself and he made it. He saved his son to stay in prison for 10 years. It was very motivational, very inspirational movie.
Mhm.
And well, I don't want anybody of us to go through that
Right.
example because it's very dangerous. So you end up very quickly in grave. But this motivates me to work on your community, as you said. So let's say I'm living in a strata again, and I've heard sometimes my countrymen complaining, why these people are making this, why they're raising the fees, why this, why that, and it freaks me out. Say, guys, we need to make our education. We really need to make you cannot just have the answers like a babies, like a small kids. We are not small kids. We need this time to understand. But why did you buy? I'm going to ask you. Why did you buy something you don't understand? And that
Mhm.
motivates me to go further because the systems are the same in Canada. Actually, it started with the United States, this strata or condominium system where the government say, oh, we need something to regulate it, because if you don't regulate it, then I can show you pictures from the country of origin of mine. And you
Mhm.
could see the whole system was working there. Suddenly you take out the system and everything collapsed. And
Right.
then with your neighbor, you don't want to speak with, you want to curse him, you want to fight with him for small stuff. And
Right.
you're
It's so
losing,
frustrating.
you're
Yeah.
losing your humanity. And I said, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Do you want to live in this community? But we don't have any choice. Who says you don't have a choice? You can
Mhm.
be a renter or tenant. You're still going to be better if you choose your community. If you choose, at least you ask. That's why I give to Eva Barrios, be careful, Eva, because if you go and jump on the references or just on the pictures and the
Mhm.
beautiful sites, maybe you're going to end up with more frustration and debt, because the moment you sign with the mortgage company, that's it. I mean, you have to pay something there, fees and stuff. So it's a process, the same like you did it so many years to create community. The same thing is here. You don't need property manager like me. You don't need somebody else from outside to tell you how to live your life. But you can use the bylaws and rules which you have already and implement them on your behalf to understand and grasp them. Or maybe you can say, to walk away from a deal and say, sorry, it's not for me, this community. To the realtor, say, choose me this and this and this. Ask me how I can live in this community. I want to meeting with the people who are living there. I want to understand the people, what is worth it or not. And finally, you may have made a choice to buy a house where you are in your community, and you said, no, I'm fed up of this, no, I don't like to live there. It's
Mm.
actually shortened my life, it's not increasing my life. I'm getting back and I receive a letter and I've heard a noise from my neighbors, which is very annoying. I cannot sleep, I can hear noise from outside, or gangsters outside, or shooting outside, or no
Right.
thank you, no
Right. Right.
thank you. So it's coming with a basic thing that you shouldn't jump into conclusion or
Mhm.
assume and fume later, and then be patient with yourself, be self-forgiving, be loving to the people and understand what kind of people are living, whether you want to live in this. But you felt it that way, like as a mother, as an instructor.
Mm-hmm.
But the basic is that we are community, so it's a mirror effect. We need this socializing, and we need this intellectual connection. Yeah, you can stay with your family only. That's correct. You can stay, but if you deny this kind of inside you sacred part, then I don't know how you live. Especially my culture is like this, and I can make the difference between before and after. When I was a child and after when I grow up, and I see how everything goes kind of south, as you said, in here in this continent, and that's why with my spouse we're asking questions. Okay, what's going on here? We came with a high expectation. Why people don't gratitude for what they have?
Oh, I know this. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really experiencing that myself. So I'm 51 now, and I grew up in growing up here in the 60s and 70s, I had that sense of community and that type of thing. And then it's what's happening now, and even within our community of martial artists that have been so close, okay? There is this communication breakdown, this isolation, this something that's happening that people are imploding on each other. And this is not what has been taught. And it's like, what is happening? So I feel like it's the world, right? The world, people are feeling unsettled because of what's happening in the world. The other thing is that Sharif and I are making changes and we're growing. And I have, as you said earlier, the sacrifice, right? I have sacrificed myself beyond what was healthy for me in order to support my community. And so along the way, what I've recognized is I've created dependency. And so I'm moving away from that. And we've had some really poor behaviors of me taking the time to educate myself further, to do my, I have sacrificed to the point where my own training has suffered, right? So it's like, so I am back now training, which is great, and taking care of myself, and made, as you said earlier, you put it right on the nose. The family, I refocused on family as my priority, but it created a ripple effect within my community. I think that I was like their mother, or they were getting something from me that was that feeling. And when I withdrew, so some of it was that I withdrew. And so now I'm, kind of coming back out, but I don't want to make the same mistakes. So I'm working on the education pieces for them and putting it together, and to let them know what it is I'm doing, and also the new direction. And the big thing that came out of it is that I'm going to move forward with with restorative practices. And restorative practices, so I'm going to go back to that root of what really worked well for me back in the 80s and the 90s, right? In community. And that was what I call restorative practices. And that is having circles and having the community on their own, for their own, if they feel like they want the connection with others in the community, to come together. And I am going to be facilitating those circles so that they can share. But I'm going to set up the parameters because in the sharing, so what happened is our group tried to get together and do what they thought that I had been doing, but it imploded because they just got into this criticisms and, all this stuff. And then I realized, while I've been facilitating this stuff, I haven't been teaching them what I'm doing, the essence of what I'm doing. And so that's what I'm going to go back and I'm going to say, here, This is why it's been working. These are the types of questions I'm asking. These are the boundaries that I'm setting, and why, so that they can understand it. These are all people that, I just thought they would know better. I really did. I thought they would know better. And I've learned a big lesson that I've had to learn how to have people turn on me and think that I'm horrible and forget about anything that was great, and just really focus on the negative. So I've been able to do that and come back to myself in it. And so now it's like, okay, they can think or say whatever they want, but at first it hurt really bad. So.
Yes, Tiffany, I agree with you, because I had some very simple example comparing with yours. You've been much more like a woman and a mother, much more as a challenge. Always the women pay the price, unfortunately, in every society. And I also like history lessons. Some maybe other session I can share with you historically what I found out and in the world history. So recently, let's say I receive emails from one gentleman, and he's in the board members, and start to be kind of condescending, and it really freaks me out. I said, what's going on here? Why are you condescending? Let's see what the company can do for us. Let's see what Vladimir can do for us. And he's giving me pieces of the details, and I said, no. I met with the president, I said, this is not, I feel useless here. Oh, no, it's not about this. And what's about them? I have to come out of my free time, because he requested and he's expecting me to jump like a puppet and say, okay, like you felt like, no.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I have job relationship there. It's not my relationship. When you're in charge, like you want to be in the community, say, hey, hold on here. I'm not here your puppet, your mother, your father. Like our mentor said, Joe, I'm not your father, not your mother, no brother, no buddy. I'm giving you specific thought, and if you want to follow, I adore you. If you don't want to follow it, I forgive you. Have a nice day. Be your own boss. Try to find your answers outside by yourself, which sometimes is very challenging, because we've seen, as I said, historically, those who were held in the community and education, they were prosperous, even they weren't rich, because prosperous doesn't mean only to have kind of physical money, wealth,
right?
But to live in a society where they feel happy and wake up and they don't need to think about food, water, and some negative emotions. But it comes with challenges. You're right. It's painful, because people, most of the people are trained with the association to receive now, to have it everything now, and not to appreciate it, and to forget it very quickly. Going in deep, as you're doing, and I'm trying to do as well. It takes time, it takes motivation, it takes patience, and
a lot of it.
It's especially martial arts. I studied martial arts a little bit, but I wasn't serious. I came here, I was kickboxing, aikido a little bit, judo a little bit, but not professionally. I just felt the discipline there, and the respect, and the achievement is coming slowly. The wealth is coming slowly. It doesn't come overnight. And that's all I was saying to the people. I say, guys, what do you expect you to do? I mean, I'm not your kind of here private consultant, private concierge. I mean, I have my specific contract, and I was sometimes like just kind of, we say in my language, you take out the curtain. That's the translation. And then you have straightforward say, hold on here, don't abuse me. I mean, I want you to help you, but don't abuse me. They think that they pay you, they have to have everything. I say, no, it's in the contract. This is the same happening to you, I'm sure. They think, oh, she's gonna help us, she's gonna save us. No, I'm not saving you, I'm not your savior, sorry. You're your savior. You have heads, you have ears, mouth, eyes, the same thing. We're here to communicate and help each other. That's it. But how are you going to behave after that? When are you going to take it? I don't care. That's the attitude which Joe is teaching through these live webinars, because he said we should put the service in front of us, not the money.
Mm-hmm.
And second, you shouldn't care if they buy from you or not, because you cannot control it.
Right.
If you go in this mode, oh, they have to buy it, or they have to, why they didn't buy it, why, then it's becoming reversal. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's the thing which, that's why I respect him as a mentor, because I didn't expect here in United States, in people not only here but everywhere, so deep materialistically,
Yeah.
forgetting about this, what we're talking about, the three parts of our existence and being, he to show up, emerge like a person who said, no, everything what is outside is wrong. Actually, we are the ones who can build up as a leaders, thanks to mentorship, which is also a forgotten truth. You know, and especially in martial arts, it's a must. There's no, you cannot be a champion without a mentor, or at least several mentors even. And we see some kind of political figures even today back in history. Oh, they were so great. Yeah, but they have community behind them.
Right.
And they have a mentors who they never say their names, never. And we think, oh, this is good. Yeah, but it's not happening overnight.
Right.
They're building up 10, 15, 20 years to become a great politician. Take Mahatma Gandhi. He liberated India without any gunshot.
Right. Yeah, strong mind.
Strong mind, and he was praying. He was wanted to unite the whole country, and he failed because India divided in Pakistan, maybe you know, and I like the movie. It was an American movie about him, 3 hours movie. I like it. And really, he's a great person and great spiritual leader. That's supposed to be everywhere. I mean, this division here today again happening. And it started from the core, from the people around us, and I understand by only forgiving them and understanding, which is very difficult, the self-honesty, that's the path. So don't blame yourself and feel guilty if you fail. Actually, if you fail, means that you're improving.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I have learned so much and let go. I mean, what it took when they so it was, you know, the timing was really interesting. So I came back from when I signed up for Joel's mentorship, and it's when he actually kind of, I don't know, it was whatever calling, whatever happened, when he took me under his wing to just do that initial thing when he was taking me through stuff, that's right when I was under fire of people that were in my inner circle closest around me, that in just the amount of time I went away for that one weekend had come together, and they kind of had a coup. They were trying to take my husband and I, they were trying to tell us that we were incompetent and that they wanted to take over, basically. So their answer to us trying to help them grow up as a black belt, right? These are our younger black belts. I do have to say, it's our younger ones that we've helped so much. You know, it's like they got into college because of the work they did with us. They got they're all of this stuff, but they don't appreciate that. You know, they're entitled. They became very entitled, self-entitled, and thought that they knew better. They were trying to tell my husband that they knew how to teach from a 20-year-old, right? They know how to teach the classes better than he does. And that they know how to manage the business better than I do. It was like this, it was pretty nuts. And they had called everybody behind to meet without telling us, and trying to get people on their side and trying to do all this. So luckily I found Joel at the right moment in my life, and was able to really focus in on what I needed, and allow that space for them to kind of do whatever they thought they needed to be doing. And to let go and to say, you know, if this is what you want, I'm the one that owns this business, and this is a business. And that's not the direction I'm going in. So I will just we'll just shut it down then. And you know, that no, they weren't just taking over. No, they weren't just gonna, you know, whatever. And so they have moved on. You know, they've moved on. We still have some things of closure that needs to happen, and I was moving in a direction of feeling these currents already. You know, that's one of the reasons I even went out to look for a mentor in business. And, you know, that's why I was out seeking this. And I had found a lot of people that they didn't have that heart like Joel did. It was about the money and fast money and all the, you know, and it was like, no. I know there's more than that. Because I've connected with people that have more than that, you know, it's like, no, I know there is. So, you know, so I feel like I'm right where I need to be, but it's been the hardest time for me, but I don't know. I'm here.
Yes, Tiffany. Well, we have to continue to do what we do. It won't be easy.
Yeah.
For me also, I'm still in the beginning. I still didn't have my webinar prepared. Today I'm going to meet with Eduardo, helping something. So, yeah, you just need permission to move on and connect it from time to time between each other, because I think that was the primary objective of Joe. Creating this at least online and from time to time offline to meet each other, help each other and move on, because in this cruel societies which we're living, nevertheless where you're living, East and West, now we don't have excuse to say,
right, no borders.
No borders. Now what's the excuse now?
Yeah.
And that's why I've seen my own eyes, because different regimes, different countries, and I've seen that the core value is, the core reason is, this is lack of community spirit, community understanding that we're in the same pot called Earth, planet Earth, and nobody is greater than the other, and not everybody has the right to live, and nobody's entitled. That's what you said very clearly.
Yes.
I like it in this movie House of Cards when he said it, you are entitled to nothing. He said it like virtually like a president of the United States, but he was playing that role very good, Kevin Spacey. And he said, you are entitled to nothing. So if you think clearly, yes, we are. Nobody promised us. Who promised you that you're going to live good life or somebody going to pay you better? No way.
Right.
Coming with the education. Why we come on this earth? What's our purpose or what's our passion? Shall I follow it? And I'm going to quote here Les Brown, who says, the treasure is in the cemeteries, not in the vaults, because there's so many unsung songs there, unshared ideas, and unachieved dreams. He said it very clearly, and it's true, because people restricted themselves to I did it the same back in Bulgaria, even here. I did the same. I was shutting down myself, not understanding why is this happening? Why this? Why that? I mean, and this is the true revelations which you working on this process to understand, to make your own brand. Even I mentioned to our Toastmasters, and I'm waiting I said, hey, this guy gonna help you, man, because here we're not told in Toastmasters. Yeah, we make brilliant speeches, blah blah and stuff, but what else? What you gonna achieve with that? And they look at me and they kind of didn't agree, but I said, okay, I'll give you more time. I mean, because I said, it's a good thing to overcome the public fear, but what else?
Right. There's a lot. That's just such a small sliver of the picture.
Yeah, because I see people coming, going. They're joining, they're paying, which is very small fee. Yes. And I told them when I was in the executive room, I said, guys, you should very, very careful why you're coming. It's actually reversal. You have to contribute here, not to expect something in reverse. Because if you're coming with some kind of selfish stuff, you're in the wrong club. And some of them listen, they stay, some of them are gone because they think, okay, I achieved 10 speeches, now what? Well, that's here the training, the education is constant till the moment you die.
Right.
That's the education. It's not stopping here or by coming with this level. Okay, I can take a break.
Yeah, never.
No, unfortunately,
Always get back up.
your mind is working constantly and 24, unless you're, even we're sleeping, we don't know what's going on. I think that something else is going on there, but it's another story.
Mm-hmm.
We are always improving, and that's it. Hey, sweetie, how are you?
That's my daughter, Kira.
Kira, how are you? What does it mean, Kira? What does it mean, the name Kira? Is it translation of the name, or you don't know?
Just lady. I think it just means lady.
Kira, yeah. Because every name, Tiffany, there is meaning of that. But I love the name. Yesterday was with my wife in a guest town in Vancouver. And we went to a shop with the First Nation gold. Wow, so beautiful. I mean, these people are making here. There's also maybe you've heard. There's always First Nation clashes with the government here, and they want their liberty, which is they have a conversation. I had the meeting. I have a tenant in one of the stratas communities. And she was a lawyer, and she says, "Oh, I have so difficult job." So why? Because I'm meeting with First Nation people, and they have this mindset to be free, and with the crown they have to make negotiations and stuff. So kind of learn a lot of stuff.
So First Nation, is that what we call indigenous or native?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So I understand this on some levels. My husband is indigenous.
That's what I'm saying.
My children are mixed, right?
That's why they're so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids are mixed. So he's mixed. He's Japanese and Native American. And then I'm about as, Caucasian as you can get. So it's been interesting, because we definitely have quite an understanding of those different cultures and what is up right now, so.
Your ancestors never get back from their cultures, from their beliefs, and that's why they stay with the unison, with the harmony with the nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's always kind of, even Steven Seagal, I think he has such a movies with indigenous people a lot, and he understood. He lives in Seattle, maybe you know that, around Seattle, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, he lives around Seattle. He lives
It's a great place to live.
Yeah, it's a great guy. So it's nice to have such a culture, because then you answer your questions at least at 60, 70, 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Why this is happening with me, what's going on, why we were born, and so and it's various spots on this planet, energy fields. One of it is here, obviously, with indigenous people, and they kept this culture and never retreat from that. They always respect the nature and the harmony and stuff.
Right.
There's no other way. You break this harmony, it's self-destruction.
Yeah.
But it starts with the community, yes. Without the community and a mentor, but we have to understand what is mentor. That's very, very clear, because the mentor can kick you in the butt. Mentor can say you the truth. He or she doesn't care how you feel, because he's helping you to see yourself in the mirror.
Yes.
And to understand what's wrong with you, because our egoism doesn't allow us to see it in a bad picture. Oh, we're so beautiful, yeah, but some actions actually are not so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my course is actually going to go deeper in this, because people are asking why, because everything goes to the core. Did you buy a community, or did you buy your own house? If you treat yourself your own house, you're in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
So don't lose my time. You follow your procedures, you follow what I say, you're going to be happy. And if you feel that it's not proper community, sell it, move out. Oh, but it's too much expensive. What's more important? Your health, your life, or the money? And the money is only one part. We have two more parts. How are you feeding them every day? With the news, not a good move. So that's the thing. I think we're in the same space, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe in 10-15 minutes I'm going to have the second interview of mine. Sorry, Tiffany.
Oh yeah, no, this is good to a lot to think on, and I had just wanted to reach out and connect with you because I know that you are working in community
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
working
yeah.
in building community and connecting people and
That's what I said to the people here. You make the cart in front of the horse. When you drive a car, do you have a license? Yes. Why? Why do you need to know how to drive? Why don't you buy the car in front? The same is here. Nobody's, and I met a lawyer and he agreed with me, of course, behind the scene. He says, yeah, Vladimir, I think that it's need to be, have a kind of course of how to live in a community. But when I share my idea, he shut me down, said, why don't you become a realtor? I said, I didn't ask you that.
mm,
Realtor is good stuff, but he doesn't have time to teach people how to behave.
yeah,
And a realtor as a person can be also be very, very abused by the customers, and very simply because people, again, they're going to him or her with very high expectations.
yeah. Well,
And not, yeah, and this is, again, this is not a kindergarten here.
yeah. Well, and I know some of the things in the feedback I've gotten from my community. I think we can share in the future. You know, like maybe when I get to my resistance thing, you know, like I need to go through that. Um, but sometimes what I'm learning is that people don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
That's number one. Like
Mhm.
they don't want to have to do, you know, whatever. Um, so how can it be delivered in a way that they're being invited to it? You know, that would be that it's not a have to, but a real genuine invitation. And to just keep having that come back around, you know.
You cannot make a miracle unless people don't accept you as a miracle. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if they don't want to, okay. I have it every day. I have it every day. I'm explaining them, explaining, and they don't get it. Say, okay. I mean, I'm not. It's not my fault. I mean, again, the education is the key.
Yes.
Education is the key. Educo, Latin means from within.
Mm,
Educo, from within. So if you don't have it from within, what you're going to get without? What are you going to see without? I mean, the
yeah.
same thing. So you actually have to be stressed out and scared if you see something that you don't like, because maybe I attracted them, maybe. But again, you don't have to go by the flow and waiting some miracles to happen. No, well, I think that Joe is giving the techniques, and the
Mhm.
matrix is the answer, I think, in his teaching. So you don't need everybody, but you need these webinars, and you need live presence as well.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the key.
I'm
That's
coming
the
back
key.
out into that.
That's the key. That's why he said he made up this program so understandable, because usually before that, when I met him, actually, he didn't reveal nothing online. He
Mhm.
has 30 videos, which also is a part of the 30
Yeah.
videos, and that's it. But later on,
So beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah. I feel really blessed to have. I almost. I mean, it's so powerful for me. I feel like he just created it for me,
Yeah.
right where I'm at right now. It's like I need it so much, you know. And so
And
yeah.
and if you see what the other television's doing and what the other so-called famous people,
Oh yes, and I have. I've seen.
what they're doing, they're doing the same thing. I mean, but they don't reveal it. You see, let's read for me. I don't want competition. I'm
Mm,
afraid someone is going to take away my customers. Why?
yeah.
Why are you depriving this gift? Why are you depriving it? Where we are going? We're
Hmm.
going in poverty. We're going in frustration. You have more slaves. Shall we repeat Spartacus again?
I know.
We don't need Spartacus again.
No.
Nevertheless, Spartacus was born where I was born, the same country, the same land. We don't need that. We don't need frustration. We don't need angry people.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you going to defend then your family? You need an army to go against this mob, which is uncontrollable.
Yeah.
So that's the thing here. Yeah, of course you have to defend yourself. You don't need. That's why he said it. You don't need everybody in your group. You don't need everybody. If
Mm-mm.
somebody really believes you, but following the process, then he attracts you really. But if he's some pose or kind of poster. You don't like the same like you're arrogant 20 years old.
Hmm.
Because they say, "Oh, I know it all. I'm so good."
Yes.
You're not. You're not so good.
Right. There's no way.
You're not so good. Even Steven Seagal never say, "I'm the best." Nevertheless, he can say it. He never say, "I'm the best." He says, "I have been so many revelations, so many." And he went to Russia. He said went to Mongolia. He always respect. He doesn't say, "Oh, I'm the best here." No, he knows that he has so much to learn. The more he goes, the more you learn. I mean, that's the humbleness, the things. But don't regret if they walk away.
Yeah, no, I was able to let go. I mean, but I realized I had some attachments, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. When
So,
you attach to something, then it's difficult enough.
yeah.
As they say, this process you call it pruning.
Yeah. Yeah. I needed a chainsaw. I didn't realize it.
Those who don't have to stay, they go. Okay, bye. I don't need you.
Right.
Don't.
Yeah, and the energy's shifted. Like now we're trying to get people pouring in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you allow somebody else to come and really enjoy your presence and enjoy your. But yeah, I mean it's tough when they blame you. And as I said in the radio show also with Dr. Babayan, blame and guilt is your sisters, which means when you start to grow. And I've read this in some books saying that when you want to grow, then the devil's come on you. It's kind of test, say, "Oh, you're serious, let me test you now, whether you're serious or not."
Mm-hmm.
So much powerful. Let's put you under some pressure here. It's kind of really different mindset and different acceptance of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then you understand the responsibility of what you have when you talk, when you teach, when you commit some kind of teaching and show, empower people. Then you're kind of tested by several levels, and then the honesty only prevails. That's it. Honesty and giving from the heart, which you are doing to your people, to your students.
Yeah, that's all I can do. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go so you can get on with the rest of your stuff. I'm going to go take my daughter out for a swim.
Oh, good.
Going out for a swim. So.
Kira, I like that.
Yes. And thank you for connecting. And
no problem.
And I'm going to Joel's event at the end of the month. I'm excited about that.
Okay, good. Well, maybe we meet there. I'm planning to go as well, but I'll be sure next week.
I hope you are. Yeah, we'll see each other then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you want, you will get in touch. Also, we can continue to get in touch, see the processes. If you have questions, no problem.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, you too.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Oh, can I share the video?
Yes, that's fine with me. Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.